Story 1. Finding joy in small things and connecting with loved ones. I will pursue what I love and continue exploring. Life is a journey. Story 2. Focusing on the small things that give life meaning, such as connections, passions, or quiet moments, can help guide you forward. Story 3. When you cannot find any reason to live anymore, start living for those who actually have a reason to live. Story 4. You have infinite time not being alive. You'll have infinite time left not being alive when you die. So, you might as well spend your time here doing something interesting. What have you thought of doing? Do that. You don't need to stay stuck in whatever is currently bothering you. Story 5. I enjoy my coffee in the morning. I hope to last until the next morning coffee after that. Story 6. Dog. He needs to go outside, so I have to go out as well. It's not just for bathroom breaks. I have a high-energy breed that requires stimulation. I respect his needs, so no matter how I feel, he still gets what he needs, which in turn makes my day better every time, even if the rest of the day is challenging. Story 7. I gathered some money and purchased an espresso machine. I wake up every morning for that delicious double shot. It makes me appreciate the little things. Story 8. Mostly my children and my wife. I could never willfully choose to leave my wife. She is so precious to me. I love teaching my children and watching them experience life. I cherish the look on their faces when they try something new or learn something new, or when I tell them something ridiculous and they are suspicious that I'm being exaggerated. I joke a lot. They are very intelligent. I am excited to see the men they will become, and I want to be there to help them. I love the fact that I know I am needed. Not everyone has that, and it is unfortunate. I hope everyone has a reason. Story 9. We will never have time to experience everything we would like to try. However, all that we have accomplished has allowed us to discover something new. Story 10. For me, the inspiration was The Matrix. I know it sounds strange, but I decided I wanted to be more like Neo. I started healing my mind, body, and soul, facing all my trauma. 4 years into my journey, it's the best decision I've ever made. Story 11. Sometimes it's the big things, dreams, love, purpose. Other times, it's as small as saying, I haven't tried that new flavor of ice cream yet. Both are valid. Story 12. All good answers so far. As someone who has faced my own challenges on several occasions, I can say you'll find the answer eventually. Just don't give up. Earth and its inhabitants are all unique. Every single one of us is unique, and it won't get any less unusual. Likely, it will become stranger as we go. That's the fun part, really. It just takes some tuning, then maybe fine-tuning, and then we can participate as if in a band. You get to add your own flavor without disrupting the flow and see what happens. The short answer is to see what happens. Story 13. Certainly not in others these days. But spite is a beautifully simple and efficient engine. My approach is to keep feeding it for self-improvement. Story 14. I make music. It's what I do and what I'm good at. It's something I want to keep doing. Aside from that, I went to a vape store one day and she was working there. Story 15. I want to see how it ends, both in football and the result of the actions the American extremists are taking. Story 16. I have been struggling. I do not want to hurt my parents. I do not want to leave a mess for my wife to clean up. Most importantly, I want to see my 2-year-old nephew grow up and have the opportunity to communicate with him, as I have only interacted with him when he was a baby. Story 17. I made a promise to a lady years ago that if anything happened to her, I would keep living for both of us. When I make a promise, I keep it. I have been broken at my core for many years, but I am finally putting myself together again. Story 18. I am uncertain, but for me, it is for my loved ones and for myself. I still have many things that I want and need to do, so I am not ready to give up yet. Not by a long shot. Story 19. To the person who created this topic, you seem distressed because a normal, healthy person does not ask that question. Story 20. My children would be the priority if things took a turn for the worse, and I couldn't think of anything else. But there is so much to consider. Story 21. Give your time to others. Visit an elderly care home and provide companionship. Volunteer in your community. You can dedicate your life to making life more bearable for those in need. Story 22. I don't need a reason. My fans provide all I need to keep my head up, and I am grateful for them because they shower me with love and affection, assuring me that I am worthy of the kind of love that can only be bought. Story 23. I want to watch many movies and television shows. New ones keep coming out, and I look forward to them. Story 24. At this point, it's just my family. We are all very close, and I love them so much. I also have great friends from college, and we still regularly talk 6 years after graduation. If it weren't for that, I imagine I wouldn't want to live much longer, especially with the direction my country seems to be heading in. This world can be a difficult place. It's not kind to decent, nice people. Story 25. I am struggling right now and worried that I might stop receiving Social Security for my disability. I have a condo, bills to pay, and medications to cover. I am living on a razor's edge. I cannot just go out and get a job because of my disability. I do not have relatives to support me, as they are struggling financially as well. I try to remain optimistic, but the current political climate is frightening. Story 26. Life is the best thing that can happen to us. You can find joy in the smallest things, like a sunny day, a delicious breakfast, or morning coffee at work. There are so many reasons to live. Story 27. Sometimes, the reason is not obvious, but it can be as simple as curiosity. Seeing what happens next, finding small joys, or making a difference for someone else. Even on the hardest days, just taking the next step can lead to something unexpected. Story 28. Sometimes, the reason to keep living isn't something grand. It's the small moments, the people who care about you, and the possibility that tomorrow might bring something better. Story 29. My rescue dog keeps me motivated. Every morning, when I see her tail wagging and her expectant eyes waiting for our walk, I realize someone truly needs me. Even on my darkest days, her unconditional love reminds me that life has beautiful moments worth living for. Story 30. I have things to look forward to, including a sequel to one of my favorite book series, video game series, and enjoyable foods. Story 31. I have yet to discover or hear another majestic musical masterpiece. I might find it tomorrow or the day after. Story 32. Discover your interests. Keep yourself busy, and what always works for me is getting a pet. If life gets tough, you need to keep living because who will take care of them if you're gone? Story 33. I am going to die anyway, so if I take my own life, I believe that God does not have a place for me and that Satan will not accept me because I have not done anything wrong. Therefore, I just try to make the best of it and see where life takes me. Story 34. My dog has no idea why I am sad sometimes, but she is always there wagging her tail and bringing me her favorite toy. I cannot imagine leaving her wondering where I went. Story 35. There is no point in living. Life exists to reproduce. If that is not appealing to you or on your agenda, there is no point. Find something that feels good and do it until it consumes you. Story 36. Concerts, new movies, and television shows are exciting. Music can be uplifting. Following people I admire and watching their videos can also improve my mood. Anticipating new videos provides motivation to live another few days. I'm also a cosplayer and attend conventions, where I always promise to finish a costume. Keeping those commitments drives me. I have many hobbies, and I love to create. Staying busy is important. I need to have something to do and something to look forward to. Story 37. Keep a good mood. You will be surprised to find that you will not think about this question. That is also the answer to the question. Story 38. I just want to see how both Trump and Putin will pass away and celebrate an extra 2 days every year. This is the best motivation ever. Story 39. I am excited for the future. I really want to see what happens. And I have a loving partner in my life with whom I can experience all of these exciting things. Story 40. My grandmother used to tell me, if you like making your bed every day, you are winning. I never forgot that. Life is not always fluid. It is a series of doubts and confusion, heartbreak. but these experiences help you appreciate when they vanish. Everything in life shapes who you are. I know several people right now fighting for one more chance, one more day, because logically, life is all we have that we know of. Start to appreciate what you have. Take a look at the sky at night. For some reason, you are here to be a part of this design. How lucky you are to have been born. Stop the self-pity. Pick up those pants, be a big person, and start to say thank you, even if it's only because you are. Story 41. I don't really have a reason. I just do. I know that my partner Holly, who's in heaven, would want me to keep going no matter what. Story 42. I look down, pull my shirt out a bit, stare at my enormous chest, and go back to enjoying life. Story 43. I'm the only person my mother has left. It would destroy her if I weren't here. She wouldn't have anyone to help her in her final years. Story 44. My family, my faith, and my refusal to give in to the negative influences of self-loathing, nihilism, and destructive hedonism shape who I am. If you have no family, build one. If you have no faith, seek it out. I don't want to hear that it's too hard. The world does not revolve around you. You can adapt and grow. You will discover your best self through this. You create your own life. If you find yourself asking why you should keep living, it's time to reflect on yourself. This mindset will only deepen your despair. Find purpose. You can do it. I believe in you. Story 45. My children. I would prefer to be around until they are independent, or possibly, in the case of my child with autism spectrum disorder, to ensure he receives the lifelong care he needs. Story 46. My husband was diagnosed with brain cancer, and we were told he was going to die. However, after a year of grueling treatment, he was still alive. It's hard. Everything is different, and sometimes it feels like we are living in the wrong timeline. What keeps us moving forward in this terrifying world is knowing that there are people I met in the hospital who would wish for even our bad days. We celebrate every tiny thing. Pancake Day, our dog's birthday, winning 10 pounds on the lottery. We eat a lot of cake and good things, sometimes spend money a bit frivolously, and try to spend plenty of time in nature. We've been given more time, and I remind myself every day what a gift that is. Story 47. I'll be honest. I have never experienced these thoughts or difficulties. I have never contemplated harming myself, and I generally feel happy. The reason I say this is that you need help if you are thinking like this, more help than an internet message board can provide. Seek assistance and find the root of your problem. Best of luck to you. Story 48. Seeing my son overcome challenges and succeed. In 2015, he was just an inch away from not graduating high school. Today, he is a Doctor of Philosophy candidate. Story 49. I left the negative aspects of my life behind and found better opportunities. Takes time, sometimes years, as it did for me, but it is possible to heal and recover. Story 50. I am currently hyperfixated on a fictional character and have discovered many helpful, funny, and interesting things on the internet that make me happy. I love to draw and write, and I want to improve my drawing skills. I also want to write a book about myself. These are the reasons I have found. Story 51. A reason for what? To simply avoid harming yourself? It doesn't require a reason to refrain from an action. I eat because I'm hungry. I sleep because I'm tired. You can struggle with whether or not to harm yourself, or you can just choose to not do it. Story 52. I don't want to die. Taking one's own life is a foolish way to go. Even if I felt that way, I would simply let life take its course. I wouldn't take such action myself. Story 53. By wanting to know what is next and knowing that if I didn't keep going, it would make people sad. If not family, then the person who finds me. If you are feeling suicidal, please reach out for help. Go to the hospital, call a suicide prevention hotline, contact emergency services, or speak to a friend or coworker. Please keep living to see what is next. Things always get better. Message me if you need help finding resources. Story 54. As someone who has experienced suicidal thoughts for much of my life and has entertained ideas of ending my life, the one constant theme that kept me going was other people. those who care about me and whom I care about. Story 55. Because I have seen how taking one's own life destroys the lives of parents, friends, and how much it affects loved ones. I could not do that to them. Story 56. I always click on threads like this, trying to cheer up for at least a moment, and then I get slapped in the face by every top answer being loved ones. Okay, well, I guess I'll go take care of myself quietly again. Story 57. Be ready for that one reason to change on a whim. Just keep having positive reasons at the center, even if it means visiting the same animals at the zoo every day if that makes you happy. Story 58. My reason to live is that I know my family, boyfriend, friends, and dogs would be heartbroken if I died. I don't need any more reason than that. Story 59. I have been told by multiple people that when I was in a really bad spot, if I ended my life, I would be considered selfish and self-centered. Since then, I refuse to make anyone feel bad for me because of how much people would tell me I am selfish. Story 60. On the worst days, it can be as simple as wanting to finish that nice coffee you've been saving or getting to the end of a good book or a show. After a good night's sleep and having these enjoyable things to look forward to, you start to feel better. Personally, I try to focus on the little things, like how the trees look outside my window, how cuddly and sweet my cat is being, or what music I haven't heard in a while. It's something you may have to actively work on, but it does help. Story 61. Cats, and as dumb as it might sound, World of Warcraft is an ongoing story I can watch grow and evolve. Even at its weakest points, it gave me something to look forward to. I have made friends along the way. Story 62. I spent my entire life under the control of my parents and never did anything against their wishes. Unfortunately, that came at the cost of missing out on many vital experiences and losing many friends. I want to live and see what it feels like to live on my own accord for once. Story 63. The sunset is beautiful. I don't want to miss seeing it. My little siblings love me so much, so whenever I can't live for myself, I live for them. Story 64. I think there are feelings inside of us begging to come out. Words left unsaid, things that need fixing. If you know what those feelings are and what you need to do to set them free, suddenly there's hope. Most people who feel suicidal don't understand what's wrong. They may have an idea but still feel lost. The worst part of being in this state is looking at your life and not understanding what's missing, leading to the conclusion that there must be something incurably wrong with you. I am currently using Sylvia Plath's life as a learning tool to understand what she may have needed to continue living. She was successful, well-to-do, and had a family, all things she had dreamed of since she was a girl. Somehow, it wasn't enough. There must have been a time in her life when poetry sustained her. But while poetry is a valuable form of self-expression, it often feels like speaking in code. It's possible that her very success distracted her from the reasons she wrote poetry in the first place. Perhaps her poems became less confessional over time, focusing too much on crafting excellent works that appealed to readers. I've noticed that many figures in history tend to attempt suicide after achieving major life accomplishments that were supposed to bring them happiness. The author of Mouse noted that his mother's first attempt occurred right after she gave birth. While postpartum depression can be a factor, many people do not attempt suicide solely because of it. She expressed despair at how good her life was, how she had everything she wanted, and couldn't understand why she was still in pain. Becoming a Nobel laureate, getting married, having a nice house, having children, and then finally succeeding at suicide. Is this a pattern? If these women had known what they truly needed, they might have lived. Story 65. I have a wife, a child, and a cat. These are good reasons to not give up. It is always beneficial to have important people in your life. Story 66. Find daily simple pleasures, such as enjoying a coffee in peace, taking a bubble bath while reading a favorite book, or preparing a favorite snack while watching a good show. I personally enjoy watching a beautiful sunset at the beach. These activities bring me joy. Consider asking yourself what makes you happy and how you can incorporate these moments into your daily life. Story 67. Volunteering helps make a positive impact on others, and it brings me joy. I observe that those who engage in volunteer work often appear quite happy. Offering assistance to someone without expecting anything in return is truly liberating. Story 68. I don't even know. All I hope for is to find something I enjoy and am good at since I do nothing every day except play games. Look at Reddit, do schoolwork, and work out. It's been like this for months with nothing new happening, and I am getting sick of it. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.